a Class B van, a camper van, a motorhome, even a Class C motorhome. These type of vehicles are used by nomads, travelers, whether full-time or part-time, as a means to seek adventure or live a non-conforming life. It's a house on wheels. But the major problem with having a Class B camper van or a Class C motorhome is that every time you drive it and you put a mile on it, your house goes down in value. See, motorhomes are the opposite of a regular home. On average, a regular standard home on a foundation in an area over time will appreciate in value. Sometimes not as much, and sometimes there's an economic recession and it won't appreciate. But on average, over time, a regular house goes up in value. A RV, a motorhome specifically, that's what we're talking about in this video. A motorhome, a Class B camper van or a Class C. And you can throw Class A in there. But a motorhome, even if it's never driven, over time, on average, it goes down in value. And to add on top of that, every time you put a mile on it, or 2 miles, or 100 miles, or 1,000 miles, it goes down faster. Think about you when you're in the market, if you're ever shopping for a used Class B camper van or any type of motorhome, you look at the mileage and that determines a level of the pricing. So one major factor when you're looking at a Class B van, and I've been looking at them, is the fact that every time you drive it, you're basically losing money because it's depreciating. Also, every time you drive it, you're not as fuel efficient as a regular vehicle. Also, every time you drive it, it's not as fun as driving a regular car SUV. Also, you can never use that motorhome as a gig economy delivery service, DoorDash, Uber, Instacart, etc. So there's a lot of negatives with regards to a motorhome as your main driving vehicle. A motorhome is great if you're going to just travel once every 2 weeks or once a month and then go from campground to campground, set up camp, and not really explore outside that campground. If I had to describe the perfect scenario for a motorhome lifestyle, it would be that once or twice a month you travel, then you go to a campground and you pretty much, for that period of time, you load up on food and stuff and you stay at that campground until a few weeks down the road and then you go to the next one. So you're driving the motorhome because a motorhome needs to be driven. Okay, it can't just sit. If it's going to sit, you might as well get a travel trailer with no motor. So you have to find that balance with a motorhome where it's driven, but it's not driven too much. And that's the negative of even something like a short, small Class B van, is that it's going down in value. It's going even faster down the more you drive it, and it's not that fun to drive. So that's the negative. You know, the positive is, again, like you have this home on wheels that's just like a little bit bigger than a minivan, and that's awesome. But everyday driver, it's not awesome. Again, like if you're the type of person, as I think about my lifestyle, it's a lifestyle choice in addition to a money choice. I think about my lifestyle. I like to drive around a lot. Even if it's in somewhat similar areas, I like to ride around the beach. I like to drive, and I do like the option of DoorDash. I do like the option to have a sunroof and maneuver easily. I like, obviously, fuel efficiency. So I like the look of a Class B camper van. It has everything I want. I really don't want to tow something, so I get excited about the Class B van because I don't have to tow everything I need. Some of them look very nice, very expensive too. But the negative is, that's going to be my main car. I don't know if I would want a Class B as my main vehicle because it doesn't fit my main lifestyle. An older person just going from campground to campground, or a younger person, maybe. So I think, like, you know, that's what you have to think of if we're talking about a Class B van or again, even a Class C or Class A. I mean, I don't think anyone makes their Class A motorhome as their main vehicle. Maybe some people do. But I would say a Class B motorhome and a Class C, there's definitely people who make that their main vehicle. And I don't know if I can get past that mental, logistical, and financial hurdle that it's worth it for me and my lifestyle to buy such an expensive thing and it really not fit into what I want to do and how I want to live on a daily basis. And that's what I'm talking out in this video to help you, to help myself, and to spur and spark some thought and go past the emotional layer of the cute, compact house on wheels, which is a Class B van. Would I be okay as driving that as my everyday automobile? Even an 18-foot long Class B van, which is like the shortest they make. It can fit in any parking spot, but it's not really meant to be driving every day, day in, day out. It's meant to be driven to destinations, park, camp. Couple weeks goes by, then you do the same thing. That's kind of what it's meant for. And, you know, so it's kind of like everything has a design and an engineering behind it. Okay. Of course, everything is made to make a profit, but for, you know, when there's a group of people put together and they form a company, the engineering mindset is, what are we trying to build and for what type of purpose? Okay. It's very basic. So the Class B camper van is built for a mobile lifestyle, to have everything you own with you, be able to maneuver in a parking lot, in a gas station, and park anywhere, but not necessarily, a Class B van is not meant, it's not engineered to be driven day in, day out as a commute car, you know, or a whatever car. And that's the negative. And that's something in my mind as I talk it out with you and I share these thoughts. Those are some serious things that, even though like you just want to go out there and reach and grab that Class B RV and say, yes, it's mine. I got my house on wheels. No more like wrestling around a car. I don't want to tow anything. I don't want to go to a conforming life. I don't want an apartment or an Airbnb. So the Class B van, but then you realize that nothing's perfect. The Class B van is not a Prius. It's not an SUV. It's not a car. It's a motorhome. A motorhome is not engineered to be driven every day as a regular car. And that's the biggest negative. I hope this video helped you in some way. If you'd like to support the channel, click the blue join button. Thank you to all my members. Check out my playlist. Hit the thumbs up on the way out. Peace.